Yeah, man, you know what it is, man. It's the one only DJ Chase, the pregame party this podcast right here on WDJCDB DJ Chase Radio. Use this episode is sponsored by College Radio Directory, man. Use the promo code DJ Chase and Groove are the hottest platform that offers. Get in touch with labels, players, curators, review your music and content. But enough for all that, man. Right here on DJ Chase Radio, we got major Philadelphia super music producer in the building today. My guy J Melodic, the 215. 267 a 445 in the building. Jay Melodic, what's good, bro?
What's going on, Chase? Good to meet
Yeah, for sure,
you,
man.
bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like I said, you're a super lit producer, super producer as I would call it, indie hip hop, pop sound, that pop R&B sound that's popping today. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get into your background a little bit. I want to start at the beginning. You're from Philadelphia, correct?
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
For sure. What part of Philly?
West Philly.
West Philly, copy. All right, man. And
Yeah.
did you? Yeah, for sure. And did you grow up with both your parents?
Yeah, both my parents. My dad's a pastor. My mother, she worked in the financial industry for a long time, but she sings as well. So my mom,
Yeah,
she sings. My dad plays. So that's
yeah.
kind of a little bit of where I got my love for music from.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope, man. So
Yeah.
both your parents was involved in entertainment, correct?
For the most part, I mean they never really did it on like a professional level. My dad played for churches when he was younger.
Yeah,
My mom has been singing in church all her life, but I think the love and the passion for music has definitely kind of spawned from just watching them, even in the house, listening to stuff and all that. My
hmm,
dad's heavy on classical, so that was like
yeah,
I heard classical like every day,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. No doubt, no doubt. And you really started like at like maybe like around 12, right? You started playing the piano first, or
So I started playing piano at about 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. I picked up drums a few years later. Once I found drums, I thought drums was like the cool thing to do. So I was like, all right,
yeah,
I'm gonna just run with this. But
yeah,
piano never really left. And honestly, like I did lessons too. So it actually played a huge part in my development over the years. And when I produced, and I was like, all right, I could kind of figure this
yeah, for sure. Now let's fast forward, man. In college, you a good student in college, or you just was like in the studio all the
out.
time?
I'll give you a little background. So when I went to college, it was a decision that I wasn't really too sure about,
Yeah.
but I knew I wanted to do something. So I was like, all right, I go to school. I like sports too, so I go to school for sports management.
Mm,
I get that degree, and that was kind of my mindset going into it. Still at that time, never thought about producing.
mm,
So it took for a little incident that I had at the school,
yeah.
and I was kind of like debating, like, all right, now I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I went to a friend's house of mine. He was producing on FL.
Mm,
He had no idea that I had like a musical background. So I sat down one day, just started playing around with the keys.
yeah.
We did our first song, recorded our first song that day, and ever since then it was a wrap.
Yeah.
So like up until maybe I was about 18, 19 years old, I had no interest or even no know-how of like what a producer does and what all it like kind of took and went into creating records.
Mm, for sure. Now, with that being
Yeah.
said, I want to play a quick game real quick with you. Now, I got Pharrell beat. We're gonna
Mm.
do like which one you like, Pharrell Kanye beat, right? So we got the Pharrell Can I Have It Like That or Kanye's Monster. What you got?
Monster.
Monster. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I got one
Yeah.
more for that one. I got Pharrell's Hot Damn beat or Kanye's Never Let You Down beat.
Mm. I'm gonna go with Pharrell.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
All right, I got
I'm gonna
one
go with
more.
that one.
Got you. Let's get into some music.
Yeah.
Let's get some producing, and I'll produce a bag right now as a producer myself. You got FL, Fruity Loops,
All
FL.
right.
Okay, Fruity Loops, FL, MPC or Machine.
Uh, I'm gonna go with FL. I'm gonna go with FL.
All right,
I
FL.
use Logic, but I will go with FL.
Yeah,
Over those if out of those three things, I would go FL.
got you. All right, and the
Yeah.
very last one, right? We got Logic, Pro Tools, or Ableton. What you got?
Logic 100%. I don't touch nothing else. That's my go-to. Shout
Got
out to
you.
Logic.
Yeah,
Hopefully they see this. I've been using it for about
yeah.
12 years now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And like I said, I'm a producer too, man. So I know I just try to like to get, cause my show is to educate people. And I'm like, people always want to know
Yeah,
like what I use, cause I'm a machine guy, so I'm a machine pro too. So,
got you.
so
Okay.
somebody like you, they want to know like, oh, what he use, you know what I'm saying? So and why you choose Logic of all things?
I use Logic. I think the functionality of it is very clear cut. And the
Okay.
crazy part is for me, like
Yeah.
over the years, like I always still find like some shortcuts. Like even though
Oh,
I've been
okay.
using it for so long, I'm always finding like little shortcuts that I didn't know before.
Mm,
It's just for me, like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
yeah.
For me, I'm familiar with it. So even with the updates that they do, it's not ever something so crazy that I can't really kind of just fall back into it
Mm,
and learn it. You know what I mean? So
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
so Logic is
Now
my
that,
thing.
Nah, that's dope, man. For real, for real. Like I appreciate giving some advice on that. And I do want to ask this question now. At what point, because you was just shopping around, you was shopping beats, and that experience could be tough, man. At what point did
Yeah.
you link up with Pink Sweats?
I linked up with him super early, bro. Maybe like I want to say 2 years into me producing. So I started around 2009, 2010, and I
Mm,
met him around 2012, 2013 ish.
okay.
And ever since then, we locked in. Like at one point, we were studio hopping so much that we just were trying to find places to work.
Mm,
And it always ended up being it was a group of us at one point, then a couple fell off, and then
mm,
after a while, it just was really just me and him.
yeah.
So we were just trying to continue to work and have that just continue to do records so that we could just try to shop them. And it was like, all right, look, if you go in here, take these records with you.
Yeah.
If I'm going here, I'm gonna take these, but let's just keep on working so that like, our iron stays sharp. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah, no doubt, for sure, for sure.
so
And
that was
yeah,
really big for us
yeah, and
for
I think
sure.
it worked out pretty well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
for sure, for sure. And and then speeding past that, at what point did you connect? Because it's kind of interlocked with that. At what point did you connect with Tierra Whack?
Sierra was a few years later, maybe about 2 or 3 years later.
Mm,
I know I'm getting the years mixed up, but either way, it was maybe like 2 or 3 years later. Um, Again, Pink Sweats and I, we had found a studio that we were working out of in Germantown.
mm,
And it was kind of like a big room that had three different studios in it.
mm,
And she was in the same room, just over the wall. And
yeah,
so at that time, she was like, I believe she was just looking for music and just trying to do the same thing we were doing, just cut records.
mm,
Eventually, when we met, we kind of just, I played a couple things for her. She had some stuff ready, and we just started working. And then eventually, I like to always say like that wall came down, like a physical wall,
yeah.
but also just somebody that she could, trust that I was going to be there
Mm.
and we were going to rock out.
For sure, no doubt, man. And now, like I said,
Yeah.
my show is dedicated to music education. So I want to ask this as a producer, a major
Mhm.
producer as yourself. How do you get paid in those situations? You don't have to give your breakdown, but how does the system of getting paid work from working with a semi-indie artist to a major artist? How does a producer get paid?
So just in my situation, for years, I didn't get any payment.
Mm.
So,
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
I believed in both artists and still believe in both artists so much that for me, I wasn't doing anything anyway. So like, it was like, all right,
Yeah.
let's just rock out and figure it out. And because I believed in them, I think, um, that's a really important part too, because I think for so long people are like, eventually you give up, and at some point for me, like I kind of gave up on the reality of me being a successful or
Mm.
even just a good producer that people wanted to hear. So,
Yeah.
it's like you really gotta love it, and you really have to recognize like when you see talent and you believe in that person, y'all build a bond, and there's some type of loyalty. The
Yeah.
money will come at some point. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying? So
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I didn't get my first. There was like little things that I did here and there that'll get me like $200-300, but
Yeah.
my first real industry thing didn't happen until 2019, 2018. I got my
Wow.
first real check.
Yeah.
And so that was what 8, 9 years of
Grinder.
nothing really. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. I had nothing to financially support me. I didn't
Mm.
want to get a job, so I would just do little odd stuff here and there. So
Mm.
But it's just been a blessing ever since, you know.
Yeah, and thank you for that answer because a lot of artists and indie artists they think like you know what I'm saying you got to they start at the top and it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
appreciate you for saying that.
yeah, definitely. And then also like then it wasn't really as many opportunities like you have like Beat Stars now, and like
Yeah, yeah.
I think SoundCloud was kind of like a thing when I was coming up, but like you just have so many different ways now to be able to generate income
Mm,
that we just didn't have back then. But
mm,
I always and because it's something that's been proven for me, I always recommend that producers lock in with a with an artist that
yeah.
they believe in and that they understand, like, and their work ethic is strong, because I feel like that's the greatest way and still the most powerful way for you to be able to get into this game.
For sure. I appreciate that. And now you're signed to Bread and Butter Management, correct?
So I'm not signed to Bread and Butter, but Bread and Butter is close to my heart.
Yeah.
Johnny Montina and Zach, they're awesome. Johnny is my manager,
Yes, sir.
separately, but yeah, Bread and Butter is always is going to be close for me because just the opportunities that they've been able to provide
Yeah.
with doing these writing camps and everything.
For sure, for sure. I love that. And now let's talk about your music. Let's talk about the reason why we here. The Fire compilation album, as I would say, melodic 7 songs, smooth summer jams, a lit project, brother, for sure. What
Thank you,
inspired?
man. Thank you.
What inspired this project?
So I'll start from the beginning with Bread and Butter. They came to me and were like, we were thinking about doing some writing camps. This was the first time that they have ever done anything like this, and they said
Mm,
we want you to executive produce it.
yeah.
At that time, I wasn't really sure what that meant, but it kind of has formulated its own identity since then, and I can kind of say I know a lot more now than I did before.
Mm,
But we hosted one in New York and Philadelphia,
mm.
and we had about 300 submissions for each one.
All right.
People from all over the country were just submitting records and saying that they wanted to be a part of this cool idea of having a writing camp. I think the uniqueness about this is that not like typical writing camps where you have like a certain deadline or you have certain artists that you're writing for.
Yeah.
This one was kind of like, look, if you make some good songs, that's great. If you don't, you don't. But there wasn't any pressure with that. Um, and so I thought it was really unique, and just
Yeah.
people honestly for the first one, we really didn't know what to expect, but people came from all around the country, and we were able to kind of get that together. The Philadelphia one we hosted at formerly U Arts,
Okay.
and so we were able to use a lot of the faculty, the kids, and as interns and stuff like that for the camp.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
then we also had some of the kids actually were able to submit their music and get into the camp. So we had locals, but then we also had the students as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Same thing with them. We went through that weekend process where we no pressure, just we had so many rooms where everybody was just kind of like creating records.
Mm,
So that's where the melodic idea started. So we looked back and we were like, yeah, we got all these dope songs that we did. Like, what are we gonna do with them? And
yeah.
then the idea came about of just, hey, why don't we put out a project? In the beginning, it was like, all right, let's just figure it out. And then from there, it just kind of grew, and it got really exciting for all of us, I believe, because this was something that we really, really liked,
Yeah.
really loved, and thought that was worth people hearing it.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's dope. My favorite record actually is Faces with Ari. That record is fire. That's
Oh,
a
that's
that's
crazy! Yeah, shout out
that's
to
a
Ari,
bop.
man. He's dope.
Yeah, Faces is
Yeah.
a bop. Yeah. What made you decide to only put 7 records?
Um, I don't really think it was any too much thought about like the number of records. We just
Yeah.
wanted people to hear the versatility and what the camps were like and the type of people that were at the camps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even for myself, just showing the versatility with records that I think for the most part I've shown kind of mostly my whole career, even with Tierra and Pink.
Yeah.
But just kind of giving even more genre and versatility and kind of showing people
Yeah.
that we can put together albums, we can put together projects, and they're
Mm,
going to be dope.
got you. Got you. And one of my last questions before we get out of here is this, right? Like, you make your sound is very distinct. You know what I'm saying? It's very lo-fi. It's very cloud. It's very R&B. What do you look for when producing an artist?
To be honest with you, I really look for hard work. I just look for like kind of like their work process. Like I really like to sit down and talk to artists and see where they're at mentally before we even get to work.
Yeah.
And then from there, um, I don't really look for anything specifically. Obviously, I want you to be able to sing or be good at your craft or be able
Mhm.
to, formulate songs. But I feel like all that can happen later on. We can go through that process later. As long as you have a good foundation, we can make anything work for real. For real. I feel that confident um, in myself, but also in the artists that I pick. I think I just have a good ear for good ear for music.
Now, well, I would say so, my brother.
I get,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Is there another project coming out this year? Are you doing some videos? What you got clicking?
Man, I'm just trying to cook up content, bro, and just try to
Mhm.
stay consistent. That's always been a thing for me is just staying consistent as far as like, letting people see the inner workings of J Melodic and how I
Gotcha.
run myself, my business and my brain and everything like that. So
Mhm.
definitely expect more projects on the way, some single releases. So I got a couple things brewing.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate that, man. And my very, very last question, I signed off with this. I asked everybody this question. If you had your younger self, somebody comes up to you, say, "Yo, Jay Melodic, what advice would you give them? Any new artist, producer, what advice would you give them trying to get into the music business?"
I think I've said them, and to put them together, find you somebody that you really, really think is talented, and somebody that you really think has a great work ethic. Those are the two things that I would say. Like, just work hard, be consistent, and the money and stuff that'll come later. If you make that your primary focus in the beginning, it will never come. You got to do this because you love it. And so, yeah, I think hard work and just consistency is really
Yeah.
key.
Yeah, you know this, man. My guy, Philadelphia zone. You know the vibes. Jay Melodic in the building. A new project out now. Melodic. Once again, it's DJ Chase, the pregame party of this podcast right here. Go stream Melodic on all streaming platforms. It's out right now. Released back May 31st. A hot summer album. You know this, man. DJ Chase Radio, DJChase.net, Spotify podcast, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, DJ Chase TV. And we are out. Yeah.